There is a super cool country that has a mix of history, breathtaking nature, bustling cities, and a culture like no other. This country is also known as the land of the rising sun. Can you guess it? You're correct. It's Japan. This awesome island nation is tucked away in East Asia. Join us as we go on an adventure to this treasure trove of experiences in Japan. Okay, so Japan covers an area of 145,936 square miles. But here's the cool part. There are 4 big shots on the island that pretty much rule the whole landmass. They are Honshu, Hokkaido, Kyushu, and Shikoku, plus a bunch of smaller ones scattered around. Now, the geography here is off the charts. You've got mountains, forests, flatlands, and a super long coastline to soak up. Oh, and let's not forget, Japan's got some sizzling hot stuff going on. I'm talking about active volcanoes, with the boss of them all being Mount Fuji, the tallest peak around. Japan's got this epic lineup of places to check out, from ancient temples and castles to modern skyscrapers, and just plain awesome natural spots. Here's a quick rundown. First up, we've got Mount Fuji, the rock star of mountains in Japan. It's not just tall, it's got this perfect cone shape and some jaw-dropping beauty. No list of Japanese landmarks would be complete without it. Next on the list is the Tokyo Skytree. It's basically like Tokyo's way of saying, "Look at me, I'm modern." A super tall tower with killer views all around. Then we've got Kinkakuji, aka the Golden Pavilion in Kyoto. This place is so flashy, it's covered in gold leaf covering its top 2 floors and makes the water in front of it look like it's got bling. Fushimi Inari Shrine, also in Kyoto, is all about those thousands of bright red gates that create this mystical tunnel through the forest. Instagram heaven, trust me. And to wrap it up, Himeji Castle is often called the White Heron Castle because it's so brilliantly white. It's one of Japan's best preserved old-school castles. And there's a whole bunch more to explore too. You know, in terms of culture, Japan is like a treasure chest filled with history, tradition, and a whole lot of innovation that there's so much to dive into. So here are some cool things that make up Japanese culture. Japan is known for nailing these super cool traditional arts. I'm talking about things like the tea ceremony, which they call chanoyu, flower arranging, or ikebana, calligraphy, known as shodo, and Japanese classical dance, aka Nihon Buyo. These arts are all about making stuff look awesome, being super precise, and staying all zen and mindful while doing it. So, the Japanese language? It's a super important piece of the puzzle when it comes to their culture. It's got these fancy writing systems. There is kanji, which they borrowed from the Chinese and made their own. And then there are 2 kana scripts, hiragana and katakana. When it comes to religion in Japan, you've got Shintoism and Buddhism taking the spotlight. And here's the twist. A lot of Japanese folks kind of mix and match these two, creating this cool blend of beliefs. But what's neat is that religious rituals and festivals are a big part of their everyday life. Oh, and speaking of festivals, Japan knows how to party all year round. They've got this awesome lineup celebrating seasons, traditions, and stuff from the history books. There's cherry blossom viewing, or hanami, which is a big flower power party. Then there's the Gion Matsuri in Kyoto, which is like a festival with serious street cred. And don't forget about Tanabata, the Star Festival. It's like a night under the stars with a whole lot of sparkle and many other festivals to check into. Japan also has the super cool traditional clothing called the kimono. It's not just any clothing, it's all about these intricate designs and deep cultural meanings. They also got the yukata, which is like a light cotton version of the kimono, perfect for chilling on a warm day. And then there's the hakama, which they bring out for special occasions and martial arts. It's like their fancy pants for ceremonies and kicking some martial arts butt. Yes, martial arts. You know, Japan is where it all began for some super cool martial arts such as judo, karate, kendo, aikido, and sumo wrestling. But it's not just about throwing punches and kicks. These emphasize discipline, respect, and physical and mental development. Are you hungry? Let us serve you some Japanese food. And yes, it is kind of a big deal all over the world. And for good reason. I mean, who can resist stuff like sushi, sashimi, tempura, ramen, and those cute little sweets they serve during tea ceremonies? But here's the cool part. They've got this thing called kaiseki, which is all about eating what's in season. They've got a special dish for every time of the year. So it's not just a meal, it's a tasty journey through the seasons. Are you bored and want some entertainment? Japan has it all for you. They're like a pop culture powerhouse. They've got this amazing stuff like anime, manga, J-pop music, and video games that have taken the world by storm. And speaking of style, check out Harajuku fashion. It's this whole subculture that's all about expressing yourself through your outfit. Japan is like the tech wizard on the world stage. You've got these big names like Sony, Toyota, and Panasonic that have rocked our world with their inventions. And when it comes to all things electronic and robotic, Japan's leading the charge like a boss. They're the cool kids in the tech neighborhood. In Japan, they take manners and being polite seriously. So they practice bowing, which is like their way of saying hello and thank you. And when it comes to giving gifts, they've got that down to an art form. Plus, respecting the social hierarchy is a big deal. It's all about knowing your place and showing respect to those higher-ups. Tired and wanted to relax? The Japanese have the Onsen culture, where they've got these natural hot springs to bathe in. It's not just about getting clean, it's about relaxing and getting some health perks too. Soaking in these hot springs is like a tradition that's in their bones. Japan's got this incredibly diverse and fascinating history and culture that just pulls you in. It's like a magnet for travelers, and it's not just a big deal in its own country. It's also making waves around the world. So if you're into awesome destinations with a huge global influence, Japan is where it's at. And that's it for today's topic here in Geography Hub, where we dive into the culture and wonders of every country.